Hi everybody and welcome to Mr. Green, the sequel, as we carry on with our September daily. Yesterday I rolled the designer Liana scrap, and that's the last time. That's 5 times we've rolled Liana, so she's out of the picture now. I can actually put a line through there. We can't roll her anymore. And we can't roll 6 anymore because we've had 5 of those two. So when I roll today, it can only be 1, 2, 3 or 4. It'd be a miracle if it's 2. I don't think the dice wants to land on number 2. So let's pop that away for the time being. Let's have a look at Mr. Green, see how he's doing. See what we did yesterday in the Sunday live. This is what we did. It's really pretty. I really like this page actually. It was chapter 1 and we made these stacked envelopes with a little doily tops on them and little floral doodah there. So today we are doing this page, and as I say, we rolled Liana scrap, and I always like to work from a base page now because this is getting too clumsy to stick things on. So this is our base page. It is actually another Liana scrap one, but out of a botanic kit. The main kit that I've chosen to use today is Lavender Fields by Liana scrap. And I've just printed out 2 pages because actually I think I only need 1, because the prompt that I've chosen today, I forgot to tell you what the prompt was. The prompt that I've chosen today is, we're getting fewer and fewer, is painting. And it's the 20th, my goodness guys, we're getting through this. So I'm just going to write this down here, painting. And I'm going to scrub that off from there. Just makes it easier for me to see what I've got left. Very few is the answer. Very few. So painting. As I say, this is going to be my base, and what I want to do is make three pockets. And I'm not actually going to put the cards in the tags of the journaling cards, simply because Mr. Green is just getting ridiculous, ridiculously fat. Now this measures 8.5. So I'm going to make 3 pages. I'm going to make 1 page that has 3 pockets. So I'd like to come in about 1/2 inch, and I'd like them to meet to go to 3.5. So that means each pocket is going to be 3 inches wide. So let's cut the paper up to that first of all, and you'll see what I'm up to. 3 inches. So I think I'll cut it about there. I want to actually leave enough for a gusset as well though. So I want them to be 3.5, but I want a gusset, so I want it 4.5. And so I'll cut that there, and then we'll cut this at 4.5. There we go. And I'll work out the height in a minute, but that's 1. That's going to be 1. And then this one we want to cut to 4.5 as well. 4.5. Lovely. So there we have what's going to be our 2 pockets out of the design paper. So let's have a look where they're going. They're going to go there, and so I want them to be about, how tall do I want them? And do I want to use that bit? That's quite, I might use different bits on each pocket actually. I want them to go to about that height. So if I mark that there, and then I need to add 1/2 inch onto that. So let's mark the other one at the same height. And you'll see what I'm doing in a minute, why I'm marking these and then adding ½ inch on, etc, etc. So I'll mark that there. So they're both marked at the same height, which, in case you're interested, is, let's play hunt the mark now, shall we? It's there. So they measure now 4 1/4. That measures 4 1/4. What do I do? So I'll just cut up 4, well, which side do I want? This one, I think. 4 1/4. And cut that down. That's going to be one pocket when we've finished with it. And this one, I think I want the bottom part, I want them to look a little bit different. So I'm going to cut that at 4 1/4. So I've got these lovely remnants that I'm sure will come in for something. They're really pretty, aren't they? It's a very pretty kit, this, and I have used it before actually. Right, so what I want to do now is get the scoreboard up and do some scoring around these pockets. Right, this one, this is the top obviously. So score in ½ inch along every side apart from the top. ½ inch, turn it round, ½ inch, ½ inch, and leave the top with no score mark on. So that's what it looks like. You can probably see it more clearly on the back. And same for this one, don't score the top but score ½ inch on each of the other 3 sides. There we go. And I'm finished with this for the time being. There we go. So all we're going to do now is cut out, come on Mr. Green, budge over. Cut out the, I'll do it and you'll see what I'm doing. Just cut down and really into that intersection there and then out again at another angle. Do that on all 4 corners that you've got. 2 on this one, of course, and 2 on the other. Much easier to see on the wrong side. Not sure that's right into that corner. There we are. Right, now we want to score these over, and they should score quite easily. It's only paper, but it's quite thick paper. Oh, the other thing I want to do actually is cut off this top just at a little angle, just into that score line, and then when you look down into the pocket, you can't. It looks better like that. So it's worth doing, I think. Down there and then along the bottom. There we are. So that's one of our pockets. That was quite easily peasily, wasn't it? Same here. Fold them in and score them. I'll tell you in a sec what they measure now that they're all folded. And the reason that we put this gusset in is it buys you a bit of space. If you just glue that flat to a page, you're really struggling to get anything, you know, it's just flat. You're struggling to get anything in there. I see people doing it all the time and I just think, why are you doing that? You can't get anything in. Just put a gusset in. So they are going to go like that. That's the plan. And now that they're folded over, I'll tell you what they measure. They measure 3 1/2, which is what we wanted, by 3 3/4 tall. So they are going to go there. But first, I'm going to ink round them and I'm going to attach some ribbon and a bow, etc. before I glue them on because it's just easier. So I've got my my dying Dusty Concord. It really is dying. It's been dying for ages. I've lost my little dauber. Here's one here. And I always keep my little pad for the dauber in the bottom of the, just put a Velcro dot on and it'll stick to it. Then you'll always have the right colour dauber available to you. So let's just ink around these. It won't be very heavy because of the dye. I'm going to do it this afternoon. I am going to order some new Dusty Concord. I seem to use it quite a lot. And, you know, like I say, this one's been dyeing forever. It's only a little one anyway. It's just buying ink never seems very exciting to me. I'm just going to cut out those little wedge shapes on this one. You know what I mean? I've already got the ink. It's not exciting to get another new pad of it, but if it's running out, it's running out. Just steel yourself, woman. Build up to it and press the button. Right, so we've inked around those. They're both different and I like that. We could have made them identical, but I opted not to. Right, so I've got some little thin ribbon. It's thin in as much it's not very wide, but it's also thin, so it won't interfere with anything really. And I've also got some purple satin ribbon bows. So I was thinking I could put that around the top and then put a little bow there, maybe. Quite like the look of that. Same on that side, but a bow here on this side, because I'm going to put a middle pocket, which is going to be the painting part. Ooh, exciting. So I think I'll use double-sided tape for this. That's probably for the best. Is that going to be too wide? It's just all right. Is that the same thickness? Yeah, it is just all right. I'm going to have to be quite exact. So I'm going to leave a little bit over the edge and I'm going to come down just a smidge. It's not very much. Down to there. And cut that off there. I'll just do the same on the other one while I'm here. Make sure that is the top. Yeah, this is the top. So leave a little bit hanging over and then just come down from the top a little bit, leave a little bit hanging over and cut that off. Right, marvellous. So just burnish that down. And I'm going to fold that over. I don't want it coming any further, obviously, than the flap. Otherwise it'll stick the pocket up. So just trim that off, level with there. And the same on this side, fold it over. And if there's any bits sticking out, just trim it off. Like that. Okay, so burnish that down. And remove the release tape. I shouldn't have been lazy. I should have just got my scalpel out. There we go. And let's stick some ribbon on. Some lace, I guess it is, really. So it's going to go right along there. I'm just going to have to turn it this way because it's easier for me to see. And I do want it pretty exact because the thickness of the double-sided is exactly the thickness of the lace. That's nice. Good job. So just trim that off, same as you did with the double-sided. This side too. There we go. So that's one pocket, and we're going to stick our bow onto there like that. I think that's fine. I don't think that needs any more decoration really. Now then, this one, just want to fold that over, trim off any that's excess, just the same as I did with the other one. Got a bit carried away with this, I think. Lovely. Ooh. No, I haven't burnished that down properly. If you've burnished it, it'll be easy to pull the release tape off. So if you're having trouble pulling your release tape off, I suggest you haven't burnished it quite well enough. I have to turn this one round. Where is it? There it is. Lovely, that's great. Oh, I'm getting all sticky bits on my scissors. Yuck. Just tidy the back up and that's fine then. Lovely. Okay, so let's just get rid of the detritus around here. Lovely. So, oh, I'm not sure that's exactly on the double-sided there. Don't know if it is all the way along actually. I think it's a little bit lower than it should be. There we are, that's fine. Pleased with that. Yeah, that's grand. Okay, so I can probably now stick those down. So let's work out where we want them. I want it about half an inch in and half an inch up, I'd say. Something like that. So they would be there like that. So you've got your two pockets, excuse me, and you've got a gap in the middle. Yeah. So let's draw some lines on. Well, let's draw one line on anyway. Let's draw a line half an inch up from the bottom. And then we do have a point of reference, because I'd quite like these to be straight. So that's the line. I haven't made it very heavy because I've got to rub it out eventually. And for the first one, I'm just going to put my ruler. Let's get the little one out. It's a bit more manageable. I'm just going to put the ruler at half an inch up that edge, like that. So I know when it touches that and it touches that, we're cooking. And I'm going to stick that on with art glitter. So yeah, you'll have to use your own imagination, I'm afraid, for your tags. Just as I say, if I put tags in here, I'm going to break his spine soon. But, you know, if I give you the idea of the page, then you can go ahead and make your own tags. I know you can. You've watched me make dozens of tags, hundreds of tags probably. So I'm really looking forward to our grungy No Digi album journal that we're going to do. I've been thinking about it. So let's get that lined up there, and lined up there, and that should be fine. That should be perfectly square and good and everything. It should be. Okay, so let's put this one, let's put the half inch on this side now. Like that, there. Glue this one down. come back to that. I'm not convinced that's gluing. Maybe I should have put more glue on the fabric. I'll put more on this one. The fabric does absorb loads of glue. It's deceptive. That's quite a lot though. Lovely. So let's get this lined up with the bottom and the side. Lovely. That's in place there. Let's just press that down. I've got a bit of seepage because I put so much glue on there. Is that one stuck? Yeah, that's fine. Possibly do with another little bit there. Look, it's not wanting to stick too well. There we go. You will stick. I'm just going to put a clip on there whilst we move on to the next section. Just in case it was thinking of coming unstuck. Right, so what I want to do, bearing in mind that the prompt for today, actually I'm just going to stick these bows on as well while I think about it. So I nearly got you told what I was doing today. I'll use Fabri-Tac for these. I've got so much glue on my fingers, it's ridiculous. So which is the right and which is the wrong? I think that's the right. So let's just put a dollop of glue. I don't know, are you blocked up? Something wrong with you? Might be blocked up actually. Let's try that. I have no luck with Fabri-Tac. Maybe it heard me saying yesterday that I hate it. No, that simply doesn't want to work. So I'm going to use art glitter. This one's nearly finished. Oh my goodness. Just a little dot at the top of the bow, like that. And let's put this one here, like that. That's lovely. And the other one, I don't know where the other one went. It'll turn up when I'm tidying my table. And then it'll probably stay on my table for, 2 or 3 weeks. So, oh, there it is. Why didn't you tell me, guys? I know, you probably did. I just couldn't hear you. Right, which is the back and the front of this? This is the back. Quite a bit. Dot there. And that will stick on as well as Fabri-Tac. I'm telling you, it really will. So, about there. Yeah. That's lovely. So we've got a bow on each side and our 2 pockets. And now we just need to make the pocket that's the painty pocket. Well, the pocket that's going to have painting on it. So given that we've got lavender on these 2, I thought it would be quite a nice idea and a really easy idea to paint some lavender. You don't have to. The prompt is painting. It would be really nice to see what you've done, but you absolutely don't have to. I mean, you can just cut a picture of lavender out and make the 3rd pocket. But the 3rd pocket, I want to go maybe 1.5 inches. Maybe 1.5 inches over both of those, 1 3/4 inches. 1 3/4 inches. No, I think 1 3/4 inches from the centre. That's there, and that'll bring us to there. And I think that'll be good. So 2 inches and 3/4 is 3.5. 3.5, is that right? Inch and 3/4, 3.5. Yeah, I think so. I think so. So I want to cut myself a piece of mixed media paper that I thought I had out but haven't. So this is Daler-Rowney mixed media, but the reason that I've got this, which is quite a posh one, is because it was on sale at Hobbycraft. It was half price at Hobbycraft. So that's what I'm using today, but any mixed media paper will do. Or watercolor paper if you have that. Let's just trim off the frilly bits on the end. Let's trim those off. Right, so we said we wanted the pocket to be 3.5, but we want gussets, so we want it to be 4.5. And then we'll work out what height we want it. 4.5. Okay, so let's have a look and see how high we want it. Yeah, quite. I mean, you have to bear in mind, you have to leave room for a tag or something to go into there. So just go down there. So I'm thinking about here, about there. I'll tell you what that measures. I want to add 1/2 inch onto it for the gusset at the bottom. That measures 3 3/4. So I want to cut it at 4 1/4. So I've got half an inch gusset. 4 1/4. If all these measurements mean nothing to you, don't worry. I will be doing a back to basics course where I will be explaining all of these pockets, gussets, measurements, add-ons, etc, etc. Right, so let's get the scoreboard out again and let's score these in. That's 4.5, so that's sideways on. So score at 1/2. Score along the bottom. Score up the other side. There we go. That's all the scoring finished for today. Right. Now before I fold these in, I want to paint something on them because that is, after all, what it's all about today. So let me just gather my painting accoutrement around me and I will be right back with you. Okay, I'm back. I think I've got everything. Who knows? Right, what I want to say is if you look closely at this, you'll see in the background there's a sort of stencil pattern. And it's in a very light brown. I haven't got a very light brown. I've got a very light grey, so that's what's going to have to work for me. I haven't got exactly that damask thing. I've got this, so that's what's going to have to work. So I'm just going to pop that over there, and I'm going to go in with Hickory Smoke, which is it's a pale to mid-brown, let's say, but the important thing is it's archival ink. It's not just the distress ink, because later on when we add water, distress ink reacts to water, so you just end up smushing it all around. The archival does not react to water, so once it's on to keep if you're going to add water over the top of it. So I've just got a little soft brush here. And I don't want this to be harsh in any way, but I do want it to be kind of visible. So I'll just do a little bit and we'll see what it looks like. Yeah, I think that's nice actually. I think that's enough, you know. Let's have a look. Yeah, just a little bit more down this side. probably needed a bit more up there, to be fair. Now I've got to chase. Now I've got to chase it. Where was the middle? Where was the middle? Oh goodness, I have no idea where that's come from. Was it there? Yeah. Phew, that's good luck. So just a little bit more up there, because it seemed to be a bit light on that bit. Yeah. Now, oh, you can see that perfectly, especially if I hold my hand there in the light. So it's got a background on. It's kind of the wrong colour. It would have been better if it was a beigey colour, but I haven't got a beige, so let's just use what we've got. Let's put some things away out of my way. Right, so I plan to paint some lavender, and I'm gonna, if you look at lavender, it's not complicated. Let's have a little practice first. So this is the offcut of the mixed media paper that I had, so let's just practice with that. And I'm actually going to use my watercolour crayons. Excuse me, mine are Faber-Castell. They're really posh watercolour crayons, and you don't need them. Unless you're a watercolour artist, you do not need these. I have them, so I'm going to use them. And we want some stems. That's all we want, just some stems. So probably not too many. I mean, that's the width of what we're doing, so it's not very wide. And she's got hers coming sort of round like that, so let's do that as well. Do we need one more? Maybe up there, perhaps. Okay, so let's just take a very, very thin brush, if you have one. I did have one, of course. I can't find it now. Why would I? There it is. Wet your brush, dry it off, and let's just go up those and just spread that. You see it coming to life, can't you? You can see that colour just come to life when you add water to it. So this is just a practice piece, so don't be hard on yourself. We absolutely all have to learn, and I'm learning. We're all learning. So there we are, just spreading that pencil line out, thickening it up, using the colour that we put down. So there we are, just some lines. Now all I'm going to do is take a darker green, because if you have a look on Liana's work, there's a darker green sort of edge to it. So I'm just going to go down the edge of here with my dark green pencil, just to give it a bit of light, a bit of dark. Don't forget to breathe. I'm using watercolour pencils because I think maybe some of you have some. And I'm just going to take my very thin brush again and just dampen that darker colour. Run it into the lighter one. Don't want to lose it. Don't want to make them all the same. Just want to wet it in. Yeah, I'm using watercolour pencils because I think that some of you may have them already, and for those of you that haven't and think, oh, well, I might like a set of those, they're not expensive and they're very easy to manage. See the darker and the lighter? So there we go, that's us finished with the greens. Let's just run the whatever you call this thing, I cannot remember. Let's run it over. What's it called? Blow dryer? I don't know. I can't remember, but you know what I mean. Heat tool. It's a heat tool. Just make sure we dry that off. Otherwise we'll smudge everything into it. There we go. Right. Now what I'm going to use next is, it's a watercolor pen. And if you remember a while ago, Mr. F put a thing on the group about a company was selling these off, and they were selling 5 of them for £1. And he put a thing on the group because that is a fabulous price, and these are Zig, which is a very good make. So I'm just going to attempt to down here just put some marks, sort of lavender-like marks, and they're quite easy to do. That's it. We're not aiming for a masterpiece. If you are able to do a masterpiece, that's great. That's absolutely fabulous. But we're just aiming just to do some lavender to go on our page, to make a pocket. So it's just dash, 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 dash. One on the top, down the other side with little dashes like that. In the middle for the ones that are on the edge. And then maybe some more down here. I think perhaps just a couple down here. This is a smaller one here. So you just make your own lavender up basically. And it's just easy to do. There we are. Now I'm going to take a darker watercolour pencil, a darker purple watercolour pencil, and I'm just going to go in at the sort of bottom of some of these just to give it a little bit of a highlight. Well, low light I suppose it is, it's darker. And fill in some of those spaces because at the moment they look like they're just standing in thin air. So just a little bit of dark blue. No, it's dark purple. Dark blue would probably do as well, to be honest, but this is dark purple. Like that. So yeah, I think we've got the idea, haven't we? This is just our practice piece, so there's no point going to town with this. This is just what we're going to do, and I'm pretty sure that none of you should be frightened off by doing that. It's just straightforward, straightforward. So I'm just going to get my brush again, a different brush actually it is this time, just a little brush, and I'm just going to dampen that dark purple that I've just put in, just smoosh it around a little bit. Just so it has no end to it, no distinct end. So that's that. We haven't obviously done these ones because it's just a practice piece. And now we're going to move on to our proper piece. Now don't get worried about this. It's a little piece of mixed media paper. If it all goes horribly wrong, it doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. Just, put it in the bin and do another one. Right, so this isn't very tall, but then this isn't very tall. So let's just go that similar sort of thing that we've got here. So there's a little stem here, and then there's a bit of a stem here. Then this one, bit of a stem, little bit of a stem, and a stem. Then this one goes kind of round to there. Let's make that a little bit thicker. And then there's another one here. And one here. And then there's one that's really slanting over like that. So I'm just using Liana's design and just sort of drawing vaguely. You don't have to be exact. The watercolour police will not come. I'm telling you that for sure. They will not come. So there's our stems. And although we've put a stencil on it, it's still just the same as this, just paper the same as this. So let's get our little thin brush out and let's just start to move that pigment, wet it, just move it a little bit, bring it out. That's the thing with watercolour crayons. As soon as you add water to them, they really start to sink. If you haven't got watercolour crayons, use ordinary crayons. Use the kids' crayons. Use the grandkids' crayons. Unless they're actually there, they're never going to know. And if they are there, I bet they'd love to see you playing with their crayons. They might even join you. So there we are. We've got our stemmage in. Stemmage. So I'm just going to give that a quick blast. So far it's just like using a pencil, an ordinary pencil. And that's dry, so we're going to go in with the dark one now, just down one side of it, just to give it a bit of dimension. Now, and I'm not going to touch that, I'm going to leave that like that. I'm not going to go in with water. I quite like that. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is go in with this. So this has got some around here. I'm going to be a bit less careful than I was the last time. Just going to build that up like that. And then here, it's little dabs, just little dabs. And if you're using a paintbrush, it's the exact same thing, just little dabs like this. Leave some spaces. Like that, that looks fine. Then here, some little bits down here, some little bits down here. So I'm just dabbing, just dabbing. I'm not even dabbing as orderly as I was in the practice run that we had. Just a little bit of dabbing. Like that. And then this one's quite a large one. And we'll come back in with the darker purple and it'll all look fine. This one's quite a smudgy one, it looks smudgy. So, you know, there's no rhyme, no reason, I'm just dabbing. So don't worry about it, everybody can dab. This one's got some down here and here and then a bit up here. Okay, so there we are. We've basically put some lavender in. You can see it's just dib dab, dib dab, dib dab. So now I'm going to take the dark purple one and I'm just going to go over, fill in some of the gaps and fill in nearer the stem. Leave some space, some that are you can see straight through. Like that, just like that, nothing technical. You see, there are some darker shades in when you look at Liana's. So that's just what we're trying to put in now. Some of the darker shades. Like that. I think it looks relatively convincing. This is just 2 shades. You know, if you really want to, you could go in with another shade, but I don't think it's necessary. I think that's fine. Maybe a little darker bit on the outside here and there, just if it's in the shade. And for all these are watercolour pencils, I don't think I'm going to go in with water. I might a little bit, but not much. Doesn't need much. Because don't forget the light lilac that we put down, or lavender I suppose I should call it, is water reactive as well, so I don't want to end up just with a soup. A lavender soup. That sounds disgusting. I hate food when it's perfumed. I don't like lavender anyway, full stop. I mean, I like what it looks like. I definitely do. So there you are. You can see that I've just gone in with a darker colour here and there. So let's just try and just add a little bit of water, and if we don't like it, we can stop. Oh, I do quite like it actually. Just brings that darker purple to life. But I am just dabbing my wet brush on top of the darker purple. I'm not dragging it anywhere at all. It just brings it more to life, that's all. But if you're using an ordinary crayon, of course you don't need to do this. But yeah, I think that brings it more to life. Right, so there we are. We've done our lavender painting. That wasn't painful, was it? Not at all. So what I'm thinking is that I'll sort of make it into a little vignette and just ink around the edges with my Dusty Concord. So I'm going to get a brush out that I can use for the Dusty Concord. Is there one out? Let's have a look in my drawer, see if I've got one. Yeah. So just load your brush up as best you can. And then I'm just going to come around the edges. Come on. I know there's something in there. Just going to come around the edges. Make that into a pretty little picture. Actually, it's bringing out the stenciling more as well. It's quite nice. Mr. F.
Yes, Miss P.
Could you please order me an ink pad called Dusty Concord? Because this is dead. It is no more. It's like the parrot that's fallen off its perch.
It is no more.
It is no more.
It is dead.
It is dead. For any of you that hadn't used to watch Monty Python's, you'll think we've gone a bit crackers, but that was one of the sketches. So there we are. We've done this little sort of vignette, and I'm going to...
It's a Timmy Distress, is it?
It's a Timmy Distress, yeah.
Okay.
Please. And I really want to darken these edges if I can. So now is the time to cut the ties. No, cut the corners like we did before, right into the corner and right out of it, right into it, right out of it. There we go. Fold these over and then we'll be able to get our edges just, you know, really darkened down. Well, as dark as I can go. There we are, just cut these little V's off there. Lovely. Now I'm going to attempt to really darken that edge. There we go. I think that's quite nice, really. Quite nice. So let's get rid of all of this. And okay, so as you can see, guys, I have actually moved these pockets up. They were 1/2 inch from the bottom. They're now 2 inches from the bottom because for some strange reason I got it wrong. I could have redone the whole video, but I thought you would completely understand that I've just moved them up. Everything else is the same pocket, same everything, except apart from being 1/2 inch up from the bottom, they're now 2 inches up. And this is going to go there. So I've got double-sided on that already, and I am actually going to go ahead and put some art glitter on as well, given the problems we had last time with the lace not wanting to stick. So I'm just going to put some art glitter on here. Belt and braces. And then you'll see what we've got when it goes on the page. Okay, so this wants to go sort of 1/2 inch up, and the bow needs to be central, so about there. Yes, that looks fine. Let's just have a look before I press it down. Yep, that looks good to me, so let's press that right down firmly. Now then, what we've got is what I was aiming for. We have a pocket here, we have a pocket here, and we have a pocket here. So we've got 3 pockets in a space where there's only room for 2. Hey, clever us. I'm not going to do the tags, as I said. You watch me do them loads of times. So, but you'll get a tag in there and in here. There isn't much room, but if you want the ribbons to be sticking out the top, that might look quite nice. And here you've got room for a much longer one. Or you can make it just up to there. It's up to you how you go about doing your tags. So let's get this into Mr. Green. So for that, I'm going to use Collall as ever. Actually, I tell a lie, I'm going to use double-sided and Collall. That's what I'm doing nowadays because he's just so chunky. Such a chunky monkey. Those of you that are doing loose leaves, binders or folders or whatever they're called, you're now quids in, because you won't be having all these problems that I'm having with bulk. I was quite determined. I wasn't going to worry too much about it. I was more concerned about getting techniques and things in. But I've now reached the stage where I have to worry about it because it's going to break his spine. I think he probably is anyway, but trying not to hasten it on. So double-sided all along it. And then we'll smother it in Collall. And that should stick nicely, I would have thought. There we go. Right, let's burnish that down. Well, I wonder if we'll roll a 2 today. That would be good, wouldn't it? The first 2 after, what, 20 days? You wouldn't believe it, actually, would you? But it's true. It's got to be a 2 today. I bet we roll one of the ones we can't have. A 5 or a 6. Well, I had my flu jab this morning. Not COVID, I've had those. Just the ordinary flu jab that you get every year. And I never usually, neither myself nor Mr. F, have any adverse reactions to it. Sometimes you get a bit of a sore arm, but that's why I'm a bit late today, because it was flu jab day. So hope you understand. Should be on time tomorrow. I might do a live tomorrow actually. I just might, because I can't do one on Wednesday because the chimney sweep's coming and he can't give me any more definite time than it will be after lunch and before 6. So I can't depend on a certain time for him. So I'll just try and do a video in the morning so I can get it out. And come back. And then he can come whenever he wants to come and do what he's got to do. We're going to have to move Catkin and his playpen upstairs out of the way, I think. And then Bobby never likes it when he's here. So, I don't know, it's the right clock, but it's got to be done. So that's Wednesday, but tomorrow I might do a live. Oh, doesn't that look pretty, that page? Looks so pretty. Have I got a little piece of card yet? There's a pocket in there. There's a pocket in there. And then here's a pocket in here. So we've got 3 pockets where really there's only room for 2. So yeah, I like that. It's nice. It's turned out nicely. Hope you have a go at this. It's not a big piece. It's not daunting. And as you saw, it's easily peasily. So there we are. That's today's page. The 20th of September. Now then, let's get the prompt list out. Away! Here we go on the floor. There we are. Right, dice. Are you going to behave yourself? Please. Let's see what we roll. Let's see what we roll. 3. Lorna, it doesn't like you. So that is Wonders by Wink, and that's the last one from Wonders by Wink. We can't use any more by Kyung. She's had her 5. So that leaves us 2 left from the journal book, 2 left from chapter 1, and 5 from Tailor-Made Journals. Honestly, what's wrong with the 2? 2. I'm just showing it to you to prove to you that it is actually on the die. It's there. Just doesn't want to roll. So, yeah, tomorrow I'll be using Wonders by Wink, and I will select a prompt from these ones that are left here. There's not that many left. So I'll pop over to the Wonders by Wink shop on Etsy, see what I fancy. See you tomorrow. As I say, it might well be alive, and if it is, it'll be at 4 o'clock. And I'm sorry today's is late. It was the flu jab. Wasn't me, sir. It was the flu jab. If you are joining in with this September daily, and you have got some pages that you'd like to show off, or a page, whatever, then pop over to the Facebook group. It's Miss Painterlot's Junk Journal group, and it would be lovely to see you. There is some fantastic work going on there, and people, I don't know where everybody's getting the time from, but people are actually keeping up, and you know, some aren't, and that's fine. You don't have to, but it's really nice to see what people are doing there. And it would be nice, if you're not a member already, for you to join. There's 3 questions to answer. Please answer the questions, and we'll see you on there. So that's today's page. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.